Question 2. The seniors from Gulf High School are required to participate in exactly one after-school sport. Data were collected from a sample of 120 students regarding their choice of sport. The following data were recorded. The chi-squared test was carried out at a 5% significance level to analyze the relationship between gender and the choice of after-school sport. Write down the null hypothesis H0 for this test. So this would be that gender and the choice of after-school activities are independent. So gender and the choice of sport are independent. Sorry, my computer's just lagging here. For B, find the expected value of female footballers. Now, in doing this, we can actually use our calculators, but if we want to get the 2 marks, we actually have to show some working for this. So if we have a look at this, we would expect there are a total of 85. There are a total of 85. There is a total of 85 females, and we have here that there are a total of 48 footballers. So 85 out of a total of 120 students times the 48 would be the expected number of female footballers, because the proportion of students that we have of female students is 85 out of 120 times by the total number of footballers, which is 48, and that gives us a value of 34 when we put it into our calculators. C, write down the number of degrees of freedom. Your number of degrees of freedom are the number of rows minus 1 times the number of columns minus 1. So that's going to be 2 minus 1 times 3 minus 1. And that's obviously going to be 1 times 2, so that's 2. So that's your number of degrees of freedom. Write down the critical value of the phi squared at the 5% level of significance. Now, to do this, we need to go to our table here, and so we go up here, and in looking at this, we are looking at 2 degrees of freedom, so we're looking at that row there, and we are looking at the 5%, or the 90, we expect is true up to the 95th percent. So this one over here is going to be our value. So that's going to be 5.99. E says use your graphics display calculator to determine this value, this phi squared value. So in doing that, we firstly need to put in our matrix. Now I've already done that here. We can just go and have a look at it. Let's just you'll see I put it in here in A. It's as we can see, it's a 2 by 3, 2 rows, 3 columns, and then I put all these values in: 1731, 817, and 1037. So I've got those in. Now to do the test, I go to Stat, I go across to Test, I say Enter. Oops, sorry, I don't do that. Let me go back again. I go to Tests, and then I go down to my phi squared test. And that's it over here, it's number C. And I enter it. And you see here is my A, my B is my expected, and I want to calculate. So I say enter. And here's the value that I want, 2.42. That is going to be my phi squared test. So determine whether your null hypothesis should be accepted. Well, we have to compare these two values together. So because 2.42, our actual value that we got, is less than 5.99, we can say that the null hypothesis can be accepted. We can accept that value. Moving on to G, we want to find the probability that the student is male. Alright, well, here we have a total of 35 male students out of a total of 120. So it's going to be 35 divided by 120 would be my answer for that. One student is chosen at random, and do they play tennis? Well, we have a total of 25 students that play tennis, so it's 25 divided by the total will give me the probability that the student plays tennis. Then it says 2 students are chosen at random from the 120 students. Find the probability that they both play football. Alright, so that the one plays football would be 48 out of a total of 120. And the next person, if they're chosen, plays football, well, there'll be one less, obviously, because the first person is also taken out, so there'll be 47, and this would be 119, and we would times those two values together. And then you'd want to put your answer as either as a fraction or as a decimal to 3 significant figures. So let's just do that. That's 48 divided by 120 times by 47 divided by 119, and I get 0.1579. so I'll write down here that's going to be 0.158. We can also put that into our decimal. I could put it into a decimal form. Actually, I can use my this, and I can put it in like that. Enter, and I get my 94 over 595 if we wanted to write it like that. Looking at the second one, neither play basketball. Well, there's 47 that play basketball, so neither play basketball would be that they play football or tennis, which is a total of 73. So we would have there, let me just create for myself a bit of room here. Color. We're going to have, there's a total of 73 left over, so it would be 73 over 120. That would be the first person, and the next person would be 72 over 119, and that gives me a total at the end of 219 over 595 would be my final one.